15-10 set 5. My goodness.
Lauren Stivrins is a great leader, and Lauren was talking to those guys through when we were struggling, and she got them to change their mindset. And then, I think Lexi led the way, and Nicklin, and so those are the guys that got to do that. Then it was fun to watch. We played Husker volleyball.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down. Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
It has been 707 days since an NFL preseason game. That changes in an hour tonight, and it can't come any too soon as I've got race walking on from the Olympics in the studio right now. Sorry, Jessica, I can't get into it.
I was shocked it wasn't included in the ticker update, that you didn't have a update on the race walking going on behind us.
Come on. Wow.
Greg does not like the race walking. So if you're a fan of race walking,
yeah,
Greg is not with you.
I'm not with you. Steelers and Cowboys. Now, if you're tuning in tonight to see some of the big names, they're not going to be there, right? But, hey, it's still NFL football.
Yeah, I think 17 people not making the trip for the Cowboys, including Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, not going to be there. But, yeah, we're still playing football.
Right.
We still got a football game on Fox at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's on Fox. It's not somewhere where you can't find it, like a Peacock streaming service or something like that. We're actually going to be able to find that here tonight. So looking forward to at least watching a little bit of that as we wrap up our second hour of our show here tonight. We have a great program lined up for you. We're going to continue our position breakdowns tonight. Tony Tuioti, Husker defensive line coach, going to join us, break through his room, which is really deep and I think a really solid part of this football team. Can't wait to get his thoughts. We taped this late last week, right before practice began, so we won't have any updates from after the 5 practices, but he will be with us here in just a couple of minutes. Hour number 2, Ty Robinson, a member of that defensive line room. Jessica caught up with him last week at Media Days. The big fella from Arizona really turned the corner last year, became a playmaker for this team, and I think the sky is the limit for that young man. We'll hear from him. And Dave Revzin of BTN will join us in the second hour as well. They were in town today. They've already left, but they were in town today starting their bus tour. They're doing it a little bit differently this year. They're not doing nightly shows from their stops. They're going to combine up some schools. In fact, this Nebraska report from them will air next Monday along with Illinois, which is where they're headed to next, which will be kind of cool to watch because you can see what we look like and then see what Illinois is talking about as we get ready for that Week 1 game. But they had a chance to watch pads. The pads were on for the first time today.
So does the team, maybe are they cognizant of them being there and the cameras being there, so they're not showing them much, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
yes.
Illinois would probably be the same, but
that goes into the script of the day, okay, we'll do this and that, and yeah. So.
And what time are they going to be here and what's but it's still awesome that they do that and giving us a preview. What did they think? Did they like what they saw?
I think they did. I think they liked they did a little recap. I'm not sure where they were. They might have been back at their hotel afterwards, and I saw the 3 or 4 man crew. They were just talking about they think it's Scott Frost's best team. They think it's a big physical-looking team. Question marks, backup quarterback, inside linebacker, the same things we've kind of talked about. They kind of came away with some of those same impressions, but we'll hear what Dave had to say. And they don't really have much to judge it against because we're stop 1. They haven't seen anybody else in the league, and so their perceptions may change, good or bad, as they make their way around the conference.
Yeah, I think it's, again, because with all of the network talk and, the SEC, just the Big Ten is doing this, and they're going to all these places, and they're kind of showcasing these schools is still really awesome for the programs to get that kind of publicity and put the spotlight on them. Dave
Revzin has been with the network since its inception in 2007, and he told me, I don't think this was part of the interview, but he told me, well, maybe it was. He said that they went back and he added up. He said, of all the bus tours they've done, because they've done this every season except for last year, obviously with COVID, that it adds up to like a half a year.
Wow.
With all the years that they've been doing it, as many days as they're on the road in the bus, he said it ends up being about a half a year is what he's spent of his life on the bus going around and visiting football camps. So how about that?
That's cool. I think the Big Ten Network does a great job. And I'm not just saying this because now I'm in the Big Ten, but I've always thought that they've been the best conference network and the way that they cover and all the teams. And I think they have fantastic talent and that really do their research. So I think they, by far, are the best conference network.
And while they, obviously, football, men's basketball, women's basketball are their prime things, they cover it all. They will cover field hockey. They will cover track and field. They will cover cross country. They don't give it as much prominence and maybe as many events as the season goes, but they do get in and cover all the other gymnastics. They cover all the other sports throughout the year. Two sports, let me see if you can guess this. Two sports that you wouldn't consider to be kind of the main ones that they say are some of their biggest television number draws are wrestling and softball.
I was going to say, I was actually thinking wrestling, because I feel like wrestling is really big up here and a big focus for fans. And just the time that I've been here, we've had some people that have reached out and talked about wrestling. So I'm not surprised by wrestling.
Yeah.
And softball is such a popular sport, and it's so quick, and you can watch it, and it moves fast. So
those are two sports that they really kind of hang their hat on outside of the big ones that they do cover with basketballs and football, obviously. But a lot of times, this time of year, I don't watch a lot of BTN because we've got one on, and I think they're showing an old Ohio State game or something. I don't watch a lot of that this time of year. But once the games get going, and it's on regularly. We'll have it on in here most days because they'll be doing a daily report about updating on camps and all those type of things. So.
Well, and you know me, and I'm big on doing feature stories and telling the stories behind the athletes, and nobody does it better than the Big Ten Network. I mean, they win awards and awards after awards, and they do such a fantastic job of showcasing the athletes of the Big Ten and their stories behind them being a student athlete.
So we'll talk to Dave coming up in hour number 2. We want you to be a part of the program we do every night, 402-413-2400. The number to call us up, dot us up with a comment, a question, or fire off a text. We also are live streaming on our YouTube channel, video-wise. If you want to watch the show here tonight, there's a chat room available in there for you as well. You know, I'm kind of making fun of what we're down to with some of the Olympic events. It's about over. There's 3 days left of the games.
Yeah, but some big days left.
There
with
are.
Basketball gold
finals.
medal games, volleyball, still some big track and field events. So, yeah, they kind of, I guess, saved some big events for the end of it.
I was watching some track and field last night, and they had the prelims for the men's 4x100 relay, which is just a fun relay. If you ever go to track meet, you love the 4x100 because it's fast and it's a team kind of concept for it. The USA had a problem with a handoff again. They seem to have that problem every Olympic Games, and they didn't get out of the qualifying heat. They didn't make it.
Yeah,
They're
that
done.
was a huge disappointment. And haven't won since, 2000, right?
I think it's 2000,
So it's and I heard them talking last night about how a lot of these countries put a lot of emphasis on this relay. So they have 4 guys that they know for like a year that they're going to run for their country, and they practice it, whereas the U.S. just kind of last minute puts together the team, and they don't practice it, and it's just, it shows that there's no, connection there. I was watching this morning the France-Slovenia game.
It was good.
That was a great game. Mm-hmm. Heartbroken for Luka Doncic. Why did he not take the last shot?
I don't know. He had the ball in his hands. He gave it up. The guy looked like he had a clear lane to the basket. Got a shot blocked, and France is the one that beat the U.S. in the first game of the tournament. So now that's the matchup. That's the finals.
So that'll be a fun rematch for the gold.
And you probably have to have the streaming service to watch it, I would guess. Now, I was also last night watching the men's shot put final. Uh-huh. And they kept panning to some U.S. track and field folks in the stands rooting on. The U.S. went 1-2 in the shot put. Mm-hmm. And there was a guy wearing a Husker hat in the crowd. And everybody's like, who is that? Well, folks, that is Justin St. Clair, who's been newly hired by Gary Pepin as an associate head coach for Husker track and field. He was there because one of his throwers, not one of the ones at medal, but one of his throwers from North Dakota State, which is where he was competing, and he wanted him to be there to help coach him. So for people who may have seen that, look, like, who's wearing the Husker hat? It's Justin St. Clair, who now is a part of the Nebraska track and field staff, but he was there helping a former athlete of his at North Dakota State. So
we
there it
had
answers
him
the
on
question.
the show when you were on vacation, and a lot of hype about him. One of the best throws coaches in the entire country. That was a big get for the track program.
It is.
And it never hurts when you got an Olympian out there competing in the Olympics.
So he was repping the N, even though he was in Tokyo coaching another athlete from another school. So
that brand is global, man.
It is
Jordan
global.
Larson was saying how people, wherever she was in a country, there's a Nebraska shirt, and it's just, you find them everywhere.
Well, I saw some Twitter traffic last night going, who's wearing the Husker hat? Who is that guy? So people weren't sure, so I didn't want to clarify that for everybody. If maybe you saw the shot put finals as well. Pretty cool to see the U.S. go 1-2 in the shot put. The U.S. particularly the U.S. men in track and field, have not captured many golds. They've medaled a lot, but they haven't won many, particularly the races. They have not won many of the track events on the men's side. The women have done some good things there, but we're piling up the medals, but we're not getting a ton of golds in the track and field. I know that's been a little bit disappointing. All right, that's what we have on the program tonight. I'm going to talk a lot of defensive line. Tony Tuioti, Ty Robinson, going to have some fun with that. Again, if you want to be a part of it, sound off, have some thoughts, questions for us, love to hear from you. 402-413-2400. You'll be doing that on our Sports Nightly hotline, which is brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto Family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. Back with Tony Tuioti next.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up and back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Shop Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during the Make This the Summer event going on now. The Ram is where fine form meets rugged function, designed to be durable, functional, and stylish, giving you the dependability you need for all your work projects and the luxury you deserve to get around for everyday driving. With a full lineup of all new 1500, 2500, and 3500 Rams, we're sure to have one that fits your needs. Shop our full lineup online at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com or stop out and see us for a test drive in Blair.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Did you ever buy something and get more than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services, but we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it. The confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard, and thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact. Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef, raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Thursday night Sports Sunday here on the Huskers Sports Network. And we continue our position breakdown tonight with a look at the defensive line. And I caught up with Tony Tuioti right before camp began to talk about his group. And we started off by just saying how competitive was it in that room in the spring, and what did he take away from spring football?
It was really competitive. You know, guys, when guys are coming to ask me about more reps, and there's not enough to spread around, you know that the competition is right. And I'm really excited for training camp and to see these guys continue to compete. And, you know, they've been working really, really hard this summer, so excited to see that.
You have one of those super seniors that came back in Ben Stilley. What's your thoughts about getting Ben to come back?
Yeah, really excited about Ben and going back to the reps. Ben didn't take any reps in the spring. So now we have to figure that out, you know, with the rest of the guys trying to battle and fight for reps and competition. And it's going to be exciting. It's going to be great. But, you know, I'm excited to see Ben come back. He's taken more of a coaching role in the spring, and to see him healthy again and, you know, trying to get him back acclimated again so that he can be ready for game day for us. It's going to be exciting.
Damian Daniels has taken an awful lot of snaps for you. How did he do last year in your eyes, and where is his growth still to come?
I think Damian's got a lot of room to continue to grow and get better, and was really happy about how he played for us last year. We needed that from him. He needs to continue to take another step in his development, and you know, just seeing the game slow down for him, I think that's been the biggest thing for him to be able to know what type of blocks are coming to him, how he can defeat those blocks, and you know, that's really helped him in his confidence. And I can see him continue to grow in the classroom, grow in practice in the spring, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do this fall for us, because he's really, really difficult to block.
How's his endurance, Coach? Because that was an issue for a while, that he could only go a couple snaps and you had to bring him out.
He's worked really hard on that, and I'm proud of him. You know, he's done extra conditioning in the spring, done it on his own. He's down there in the Stairmaster treadmill. He's doing everything he can to get his body right. He's done a great job in making sure that he's eating right, and that's been a big part of, you know, his nutrition plan over the spring and the summer. So I think he's going to be in tip-top shape, and I think we're going to see a better Damian Daniels this fall.
Another Husker in your room that's played an awful lot of football is DeAndre Thomas. Where does he fit into this thing for you?
Yeah, he's another veteran guy that I'm really excited about having back in our room. We didn't have him last year with us. He was pretty much dinged up in the Ohio State game, couldn't go much for us last year, but he's another guy that knows the system, that works really hard. He's done a really good job taking the younger guys and trying to teach them the defense and teach them the techniques. So having a guy like him, it's really important for us. It adds depth to our room. He's a guy that I trust to put on the field and be able to help us get some production on the field, too.
We're visiting with Tony Tuioti here on Sports Night as we break down the Husker defensive line. Two players who really kind of emerged last year for you. And I have a hard time, as far up as I sit, Coach, to differentiating a 99 and a 98. Man, I'd get that mixed up all the time. But Ty Rogers, Casey Rogers, tell me about your excitement level for those two, and where are they headed? Ty
and Casey Rogers, I think they got a big year ahead of them. They want to have a big year. They've been working really hard for that. I didn't think a lot of people expected Casey Rogers to do much for us last year, and he's really grown. I think the guys in the weight room have done a great job. Coach Duvall, Dave Ellis have done a great job in helping him build his body to where it's at now, where he can be physical at the point of attack, very athletic. And I think sky's the limit for Casey Rogers. You know, he hasn't played much football. He's been a lacrosse player most of his, you know, in his youth. So, you know, I think with his athleticism and his strength, he can continue to add some pass rush for us. He's good in the run game, and that showed up for us last year. And I saw Casey really kind of develop and take off in the beginning part of spring before we got shut down with COVID. And then in training camp, I saw that out of him too as well. So I knew he was going to have a really good season for us, and it showed up for him. And he needed that type of confidence. And now him coming in with, you know, with those game reps and the confidence, I think he's going to continue to climb and excel for us. Ty Robinson, he's got all the tools. He's big, he's strong, he's got some speed and quickness that a lot of people don't realize for a guy his size. But he wants to be really, really good, wants to be great. He takes up, you know, just all the information that's given to him. And I think he's going to be a beast for us coming this fall, too, as well.
Jordan Riley was a junior college transfer into the program a year ago for you. He's another really good-looking kid, big-sized fellow. What about Jordan? What do you think he can help, where he can help this team?
Yeah, I'm excited about Jordan for this fall. I know he was disappointed last year. He wasn't able to help us as much as he wanted to. But, you know, he didn't have a chance to really get himself physically ready, you know, with COVID and everything being shut down. He looks great right now. He's dropped about 15 pounds. He's in great shape. I think that's going to help him with his quickness, his lateral movement, helping us out in the run in the pass. But he's another guy that's really big, really athletic, that I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do for us this fall.
A couple younger guys in the program that they've been around a little while but haven't made themselves a big part of the team yet is Mosai Newsom and Jamin Graham. How about those two fellows, and where are they headed?
Well, they're still trying to grow and develop. Mosai's actually added a lot more weight to his frame. He's around 290 now, came in about 245, 250. Whoa. So he's still growing, still learning how to play the right way for us with fundamental technique-wise, but he shows flashes of it, and it's just a matter of him being more consistent for us and, you know, trying to find a way where we can use him in our rotation. Obviously, we're deep right now, but he definitely has a skill set in the pass rush game that we can use for him. So it's just a matter of just finding packages for those type of young guys. Jamin Graham is still in that process of just trying to learn our defense and kind of understand what we want to get out of him. But he's another guy, if he comes along, that we can use as a third down package type guy.
I'm just a little bit past halfway, and we still have some names to go. That's how deep a group that you are getting a chance to work with right now. Another guy who was really ballyhooed coming in, and I know you have high hopes for, is Nash. Yeah. And he really looked like he had a pretty good spring for you.
Yeah. He grew up a lot. You know, he needed spring to continue to grow and develop. And we got a really deep position there at the nose guard position, but Nash has come a long ways in terms of just being more athletic, being able to move, and he's shown flashes during spring ball where he was able to win a lot of his one-on-ones at the point of attack. And, you know, in the spring game, he was able to give us some pass rush. And I think that was, you know, that was very evident. It was pretty much like one of those type of guys that's a gamer. And he showed up, and he probably graded out the best, I think, for us in the spring game. So that was really exciting to see, and that was encouraging for him to have some more confidence to be able to come into training camp and see where he can help us out with. But I'm really excited about him, and I think he's going to have a bright future here.
He came in along with Marquise Black. Where is Marquise in his development stage?
Yeah, Marquise is still trying to work to get himself in shape, trying to get himself strong, but that's pretty natural, you know, for a lot of young freshmen that come into the program, and I think that's one of the biggest things, the biggest transition for high school kids when they're coming from high school to college football is now you're playing with grown men. So it takes some time for young high school kids, especially in the trenches, to get themselves right physically. And, you know, he's working really, really hard with Coach Duvall, and, you know, once he can get himself a little bit more stronger, and he'll be able to help us out.
You don't usually overpower many people in the Big Ten, do you? You have to have great technique.
You got to have great technique, and there's not a lot of room for error in the trenches. I mean, you're so close. It's pretty much hand-to-hand combat, and, you know, we spend so much time in our fundamental technique. Scheme is great, but you got to be great in the fundamental technique to be able to win your one-on-one battles in the run game and the pass game.
Take Wilderman and Chris Walker, other guys in your program. Chris Walker probably one of the stronger guys in his football team.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the guys in the weight room that you can't find enough weights to put on the bar for him. But you know, he's been battling with injuries throughout his career, and when he's healthy, he definitely can give us something. He has a great motor. He's constantly running to the ball, which are things that I really preach a lot in our room. And he's one of those guys that definitely can help us out.
Let's talk about the new kids. Jalen Weaver, Ruquan Buckley, both a part of this team. I mean, they've obviously got a lot of bodies ahead of them. What's your plan for them as you move into this season?
Yeah, just trying to figure out where they can help us out. A lot of it is just understanding how we play within the scheme of our defense, them learning the fundamental technique. Again, it's, you know, one thing for Ruquan, he was great. He came in January, and he had the added benefit of being able to learn number one, really start with Coach Duvall in the weight room with winter conditioning and getting his body strong. And then in spring ball, he actually took the most reps, 11 on 11 reps for us this past year. And that was really just trying to help him close the gap with a lot of our players. So he had 368 11 on 11 reps. We kind of chart those for our guys, and he had the most reps. And He got better and better as we went through spring practice, and that was encouraging to see. And he's going to continue to need more reps so that he can try to close gaps with the older guys. But I'm really, really excited about what he can bring to us in the future. He's got great size, great athleticism. Jalen Weaver just came in late in June, so he's been really just trying to train with Coach Duvall and get himself right. And so I'm excited to see what he can help us out with here when we get to practice here in the next couple of days.
Big body.
Big body. Big body. 6'8", and came in at close to 400 pounds. And, now he's down to like 380 now. So, he's got a big frame, big body. So there's a lot there to work with Coach Duvall and Coach Ellis and myself. So once he can get himself right, and we'll be able to see what he can do to help us out.
And the good thing, with all the depth you have, there's no rush. You can let him take his time and develop at his own pace.
Yeah, and that's a great thing about where we're at in our room right now.
Yeah.
And, we got guys that I feel really comfortable with to be able to help us out and play this year. And then we bring the young guys along and help develop those guys too. So I think we're in a pretty good place right now in our room, and really excited about the guys that we have.
No doubt. If that's not enough, I got to ask you about Colton Feast. He's a walk-on player in this program, but yet there's a young man that from time to time you've thrown him out there and let him get into the fight.
Yeah, love Colton. And, I think he's great for our room. He's a true blue-collar guy, hard hat guy. He comes every single day with the intent to just get better. He only knows one speed, which is 100%. But he's been great in the weight room. He's been great on the field, great in the meetings. But, this is going on year 3 that I've had a chance to work with Colton. I remember the first time I walked in the room, and I had guys like Khalil Davis in the room, and Carlos Davis, and Darian Daniels, and then here comes Colton Feast. I'm like, this guy's never going to have a chance to play in this room. And he's a guy that just kept his head down and just kept working, got stronger, got bigger. And with every rep that I gave him, he was out there just producing for us. He's running to the football. He's playing our brand of football that we want up front. And he's earned my trust in that. And I'm really excited about where he's come. And, as a coach, one of the things you take a lot of pride in is seeing guys develop and grow and continue to get better. And he's got so much more confidence now from the first time I had a chance to meet him and be able to work with him. And I'm excited to see what he can do. And I have no doubt if I throw him in the field in the game, and he's going to be able to go out and do what he does in practice. Because if you do it in practice, I know you're going to do it in the game.
Fantastic. I'm getting the feeling you like your group.
Yeah, love those guys. And just love being around them. Just genuinely love being around the guys. And they do a great job. They hang around a lot with each other. And, I think when you have a chemistry like that, exciting things can happen. Because, there's so much up and down throughout the season, but when the chemistry is right and the guys genuinely like each other, during the good times, it's going to be easy, where everybody hangs out. But when it gets really hard, and the guys really genuinely love each other, they're going to pull each other up, and they're going to help each other out. And, those are the things that we really try to stress in our room. And we talk about it all the time, that culture beats scheme at the end of the day.
Yeah. Appreciate the rundown. Have a great camp.
All right. Appreciate you, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Tony Tuioti, got a chance to talk to him last week before camp began, so it's obviously some things maybe have tweaked in the last week, but he's got a deep room, and I love him talking about the chemistry within his room and guys getting along with each other. That's good stuff to hear.
He likes his group for sure, and I think a lot of it comes from him and the kind of the tone he sets and that family, type feel, and they're close and they're like brothers, and yeah, I mean I think they kind of follow his lead on that. Just, talking with him a little bit on the Big Red Blitz and just kind of how he approaches things. And they're competing, but it's also they all know that they're all going to play a role because they want to run in and be able to substitute a lot and keep guys fresh. And so, yeah, I think he's really excited about this group. And I think it's been some pretty great battles between his group and the O-line.
Oh, yeah. It sure is. We're going to hear from one of his players, Ty Robinson, coming up in hour number 2. All right, folks, what did you hear? What thoughts, questions come out of that? We threw a lot of names at you during the interview with Tony right there, but we'd love to get your take. 402-413-2400 with a call or a text, or if you're watching us on our YouTube chat line, you can get in the chat room there and pop a question or two in there. We're back with more of the show next.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hiv.com.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact. Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hiv.com.
Did you ever buy something and get more than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services, but we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it, the confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard. And thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
From vintage sneakers to bacon-scented soap to water fountains for your pet, all can be had with a few simple clicks. Problem is, you never really know what you're going to get until they show up at your door. Introducing Ford Blue Advantage. It's used car buying that's built for you. Not only can you shop for used vehicles online, in person, or both, you can also test drive before you buy, so you know exactly what you're getting. Plus, get history reports, vehicle inspections, Ford warranties, and the expertise of factory-trained techs. Visit FordBlueAdvantage.com today.
Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you Thursday night here on the Huskers Radio Network, Sports Nightly. Huskers had a full padded practice today, their first one of the year. It was practice 6 earlier today, no media availability. Tomorrow after practice, we will hear from the head coach. First time we'll have heard from him since practice began. We've heard from both coordinators during the week, but Scott Frost will have a recap of what he says tomorrow night here on the program. We'll hear from Dave Revzin of BTN, who was at today's practice, and get his impressions of this Husker team in hour number 2 of the show tonight. On our text line, how's Damian Daniels? We did talk to Tony about Damian. He's doing really well. I think right now he'd be a starter at nose tackle for Nebraska, but the good news is it's not just about one guy. There's a handful of players that are going to roll through there. The depth of that spot is not an issue. It's really not one of the concerns of this team. It's obviously very important. You want to be really good up front, but I think Nebraska will be really stout up front on defense. So,
and I feel like as far as like starters go, that could change
Sure.
a lot throughout the season.
Week to week.
Yeah.
It could be somebody different. Somebody may start
And other guys get more snaps. I mean, it could be that kind of a thing.
Yeah, or it might be a matchup deal, depending on what you're matching up against. We did have a question in the chat about captains. Have they announced captains yet? When will that come out?
No, not yet. I would think it will come out maybe in about 2 weeks. I think we're probably a week out from the first game that they may announce captains, but I'm sure they've talked about it at this point in time. Kind of like the black shirt question we had last night. I don't anticipate the black shirts coming out until the season begins. I think they'll wait a game or two before they do that, but they will announce captains before the season starts. But good question. Yeah, sometimes it comes out early. It's not going to this year.
What's the biggest number of captains that they've had? Because I feel like there's a lot of guys that could be.
Yeah, I think it would be capped at 5, probably 5, and I think we could probably name them. I think Adrian will be a captain. I think Cam Tater-Britt will definitely be a captain.
JoJo,
I think, would probably be a captain. So on the offense,
Cam Jurgens, Austin Allen,
possibly. Yeah, probably alignment. Probably, and it would have to be Cam. He's the most veteran guy in that group up front.
I just think we heard so much about the leadership of the tight ends. You'd think that Austin Allen would probably, and he told me that was one of his biggest goals, is he wanted to be a captain. So.
Well, right outside the locker room, there's a whole wall of pictures of past captains. So it's those guys walk by that every day. And that, for some players, is a real goal. I want my picture to be forever etched in the history of this program. I want to be on that wall.
Yeah.
It's a good goal.
I mean, it is. It's a big honor to be, a leader of a team, to be chosen and to be, given that responsibility. I mean, it's not just, hey, you're winning because we like you. It's we trust you to lead this team.
Right.
I mean, it's a huge opportunity.
Leadership on a squad as big as a football team is a big, big thing. And it is for every sport, but I think it's magnified in football because of the size of the roster. I mean, you just have to have leadership inside of a locker room. Basketball teams, coaches can really corral that better because you're only talking about a dozen, maybe 13 or 14 players on a team. Baseball, a little bit bigger because you've got a roster size of about 35. But football, when you're talking about 100 up to 50 players on a team, you better have good leadership in a locker room or it's going to get away from you.
Let me ask you this, because when I did the interview with Adrian, back in the summer, and, I talked to him about what he took away and what he learned from a really challenging year last year. And he talked about when he was not the starter, how he saw he could still lead this football team, and he was still could make an impact on this team in other ways and just, being the quarterback, quote unquote. And the way we're hearing about players talk about this is his team, he's the leader, he's the undeniable leader of this football team. Has that kind of been talked? Has he been talked about the way that he's been talked about this year, going in this fall camp?
I think Adrian, because he's such a mature young guy, honestly, Jessica, he was really a pretty clear-cut leader pretty quickly after he got on campus. He's just that kind of a player that they all respect, the way he goes about, the way he treats people, how polite he is, the way he interacts with fans, coaches, media, all that. I think the players see that. I think they're drawn to him. And even last year when he got benched, he didn't shy. That was a big week for him because he didn't shy away from it. He stepped up. He became what he was telling you. He goes, I realize I still have to be a leader if I'm not even the starter. So I think he earned a ton of respect from his teammates, the way he acted that whole week.
I feel like, too, he's kind of stepped into being more of a vocal guy. I mean, obviously the quarterback is going to be a natural leader on a team, but it's not always, it's maybe a lead by example type of role. But I feel like he's kind of being more outspoken as well this time around.
He's not, he's just not a real flamboyant guy.
Yeah.
It's not really his style to be a screamer or yeller and that type of thing. Some players are, some players aren't. But he certainly has his pulse on what's going on with that team. And I think the coaches could go to Adrian anytime and go, what's this about? And he would probably have a pretty good idea what's going on. That's a good thing to have.
I also think it speaks volumes about how much this team believes in him, but how much they want him to do well, and they want to do well for him as well. Like they want to play for him, and they want to play well for him.
They want him to have success.
Yes.
Because I think that they like him that much that it's been painful to watch him take the criticism that he has had over the last couple of years because the team hasn't won. And we all know quarterbacks are going to get more blame. They're going to get more credit depending on how you win or lose. And maybe it's not fair, but it comes with the position. But I think you're right. I think his teammates want to win in some ways for him, which is a cool thing. It's really neat.
You don't always see that. And they want to win for Nebraska. They want to win for the team, but they also seem very convicted about wanting to help Adrian have success as well.
Growing up, were you a fan of the movie Field of Dreams?
Yes, yeah.
this weekend, Major League Baseball is going to play a game on that diamond.
Wow.
It's going to be the Yankees and the White Sox. Today, they put out the reveal of the throwback uniforms the two teams are going to wear. It's the Sunday night baseball game in, is it Dyersville, Iowa, I think is the name of the town that the ballpark is in. But let me check. Let me correct it. It's next Thursday is when the game, so it's a week from today. It's the 13th of August. They were supposed to do this a year ago, but COVID came, and then they had to cancel it and move it to next year. But they have constructed a temporary 8,000-seat ballpark on the very property, on the very ground that Kevin Costner and those guys shot that movie. What was that? What year was that?
If you build it, they will come.
Right.
Yes.
And there's pictures on the movie. I can't find the year the movie came out. It had to be in the late 90s, I guess, when the movie came out. But one of the best baseball movies of all time. But it's a week from today in Dyersville, Iowa. They did put the Aaron Judge is wearing the Yankees throwback, and I think it's Lance Lynn for the White Sox wearing their throwback. That is going to be so cool. I cannot wait to tune in next Thursday night to watch that thing out in the middle of a cornfield.
And it's going to be baseball. Where can we watch it?
I think ESPN's got the broadcast.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
so it's
That's
on
awesome.
ESPN. So, again, this was supposed to have taken place last year, but COVID knocked everything out of whack. But that's going to be so cool to see a game from that field where they shot that movie some 20 years ago. So that'll be kind of cool to watch that. That was one of my favorite sports movies.
Really?
Field of Dreams, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Hoosiers, but I did like Field of Dreams as well.
I'm a big James Earl Jones fan. He was great in that movie. Kevin Costner's pretty good about anything he does. So, all right, I need to step aside. Wow, Andrew, is that right? 1989? Holy cow, I didn't believe it was that long that movie came out. Man, that is crazy. I need to step aside and get a break in. If you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text, 402-413-2400. The number to dial us up with a comment or question or fire off a text. We're back to wrap up hour one next.
Experience the highest levels of luxury at Woodhouse Lincoln, the Metro's exclusive Lincoln dealer. Our dedicated sales team is ready to guide you to your perfect vehicle. With a lineup of unique crossovers and SUVs, Lincoln offers insightful technologies, connectivity, and interior amenities, while you experience the highest sales satisfaction among all luxury brands. Visit Woodhouse Lincoln at 144th and Giles Road or online at woodhouselincoln.com.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. Husker fans, stay up to date with the most current and latest news by following the Big Red on Facebook and Twitter. These social media homes provide the fastest daily updates on everything surrounding NU athletics, including game results, ticket promotions, and Husker prizes. Log on to also follow several sports-specific pages and Husker head coaches. Become a fan today at facebook.com/Huskers and twitter.com/Huskers to join and interact with thousands of Husker fans around the world.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. A new grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture is supporting Husker research in the study of multi-robot systems in ag settings. The almost $500,000 grant was awarded through the USDA's National Institute of Food and Agriculture to Professor Santosh Pitla. Pitla and his team will use the funds to further their research in the use of unmanned ground vehicles and drones on the farm.
Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you. I'm totally embarrassed that I did not realize that movie was that old. 1989. You said in the YouTube chat they were all over that.
Yep, you had a couple guys respond right away when you were talking about it when it came out, April of 1989.
The cornfield is up. I'm looking at some aerial photos of it, and they have cut through one of the cornfields a maze outside the ballpark in the shape of MLB's logo. That's kind of cool.
That's cool.
There are 159 acres of corn surrounding the ballpark, and it's possible that a home run could land in the cornfield out beyond center field.
Have you done a corn maze before?
Oh, I love them.
I haven't ever done one.
Love them. Yeah,
That'd be cool to do a Major League Baseball logo maze or whatever.
So the game next Thursday, the 13th, the Yankees and the White Sox. I misidentified. I thought that was Lance Lynn. It's Carlos Rodon. Their pitcher for the White Sox is in their uniform, but you can probably go find it on social media. They put that out today. It's a pretty normal ballpark. 335 down the lines, 380 to the gaps, 400 to dead center. And they've got a little parking lot that they've erected out there for this. So this is a cool deal. Good, nice little throwback. Major League Baseball a couple years ago played a game in Omaha, TD Ameritrade, right before the College World Series got going. And I think a lot of folks in Omaha, me included, are hoping that they do that again. But then they came out right after that and said they wanted to go do play a game at the Field of Dreams ballpark.
That's awesome.
1989.
I wonder how many kids these days, listen to me, kids these days know about that movie.
Oh, I think so. Andrew, our producer, was saying that it's his mom's favorite movie. I mean, I don't. If you're a sports fan, that's probably one of the ones you checked off your box.
Yeah.
I mean, I would guess Hoosiers is about the same time frame that it came out in the late 80s or 90s. That's one of the great
and that
movies.
plays on Fox Sports a lot. I catch that on cable quite a bit.
They do. Field of Dreams, great movie, great concept, and some terrific actors that made that in there.
I got a comment real quick. So Generation Red Podcast is what he is in the YouTube chat. I think Field of Dreams was in theaters when my wife and I got married 32 years ago today. It is still one of our favorite movies. So congratulations. Happy anniversary.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, it is. It's just one of those ones. And if you have your remote in your hand and you're kind of skipping through channels and you pop on it, you're going to invariably watch a little bit of it. You're like, okay, pull this in, and what part of the movie is that? And are they sitting in Fenway Park and they're hearing the whispers? And James Earl Jones, who's thinking Kevin Costner's a crazy wild man, all of a sudden goes, ooh, this guy's onto something, and turn the whole thing around. On our text line, who do you guys think the other corner will be? Could it be Tyreek Johnson? Could be. I think it's going to be Quentin Newsom, I think, is when that will take place. So I think Quentin came out of spring as the corner opposite Cam Taylor-Britt. I think he's going to hang on to that, but I do think you're going to see Tyreek play. He's had a good camp to this point in time. I'm all messed up. The 13th is Friday, not Thursday. So it's Friday night, the 13th, when that game's played. I'm getting people's schedules all messed up.
You know, and there's been some talks about some of the ratings being down for ESPN. You got to think those ratings will be really good for them.
Could be. Speaking of ratings, you alluded to this the other night. The Olympic Games are down 46% in prime time from Rio 4 years ago. How much do you think is that? Because a lot of it is tape delayed. Rio was pretty much live because they were in the central time zone like we are, so they were a lot of live events. How much do you think that has hurt this year's numbers?
I definitely do think that's played a part in it. I also think there's just not as big of stars like Simone Biles, but there's no Michael Phelps.
Right.
Which brought in a lot. And they talked a lot about that leading up to the Olympics this year, is that the swimming didn't have as many big stars and big names as they've had in the past.
No Usain Bolt, who was just captivated everybody in track. I mean, the track stuff's been fine, but really, who is the biggest track name? I mean, there have been
Sydney McLaughlin,
probably, but I don't know that many sports fans could even name who she is before the games begin.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of young USA athletes that, you know, maybe caught some attention this time around, that maybe in 4 years they will be the stars for the next Olympic game, or 3 years. It's a quicker turnaround. So maybe there will be bigger stars for the next Olympics to help that out. But I think a lot of it is there's been some big storylines that have happened not during prime time.
Right.
And so people that are wanting to see and know about that already know about it by the time it's airing.
Right.
Like me.
The basketball games have been on in the middle of the night. The soccer matches, a lot of them at 3 a.m. Well, you're going to probably open up your device, look at something on social media, and find out the result, and then go, okay, now I don't need to watch this match between Australia and the United States, or I know Team USA won by 20 points in basketball. I may not watch it now.
Well, and one of the biggest storylines of, ever, or, you know, especially in gymnastics, happened at 5 a.m., and, you know, Twitter was erupting in the morning talking about Simone Biles, you know? So it's like that type of thing when there was such a big storyline playing out, and and then by the time, 12 hours later or 14 hours later, everybody knew what was going on.
Jessica, I've completely botched this whole Field of Dreams thing.
I know.
The game is on Thursday, and it's the 12th, not the 13th. So it is next Thursday. So I had that part right. I had the date wrong, 12th, 13th.
Okay, we got
and
it now.
Everybody's
it's
all
Thursday,
over me. Everybody's
the 12th.
Yeah, everybody's all over me. This one guy just said when Costner asks his dad if he wants to play catch at the end of Field of Dreams, I tear up every single time. That's the emotional tug of that movie when that happens.
Because my dad was such a big part in me falling in love with sports, and I think a lot of people why they like sports is credit to their dads and watching sports with their dads. So yeah, that probably tugs at most everybody watching that.
That was Mark in Battle Creek saying he tears up. Mark, that's fine. I think it's good for a guy to admit that you tear up at a movie. That's fantastic.
Real men cry.
Absolutely, you can do that. There are some of those moments. In Hoosiers when the drunk guy becomes the coach and he gets the come on,
picket fence. We got to run the picket fence.
Picket fence. Come on, that just gets you every time there for that as well. All right, okay. Thursday the 12th, you can watch the Field of Dreams game. We got that clarified, figured out. Good stuff. All right, coming back next hour, Ty Robinson will join us, and we'll talk to Dave Revzin of BTN as you listen to a confusing Thursday night Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thursday the 12th.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. Stay up to date with the most current and latest news by following the Huskers on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and more. These social media homes provide the fastest daily updates on everything surrounding Nebraska athletics, including game times, results, ticket promotions, prize giveaways, and more. Log on to also follow several sport-specific pages and Husker head coaches. Join today and interact with thousands of Husker fans around the world. Visit huskers.com/social media to see all of our accounts.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Shop Woodhouse Ford first. With 3 convenient locations, we offer a wide selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Our no-pressure sales team is eager to help you find the perfect vehicle. We make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase in person or online at woodhouseford.com. Choose your experience and start your car buying journey today at Woodhouse Ford in Blair, Omaha, or Plattsmouth.
Good evening, I'm Greg Sharpe. Here is tonight's Sports Ticker. The Huskers had their first practice in pads today. There was no media availability afterwards. BTN was in attendance today. We're going to hear from BTN's lead anchor, Dave Revzin, later on in the show. The Huskers will practice again tomorrow. We will hear from head coach Scott Frost after that practice. A full recap coming your way on what he has to say tomorrow night. Former Husker offensive lineman Brent Qualley has signed a free agent contract with the Tennessee Titans. Qualley has been in the NFL since 2014. The first NFL preseason game is tonight. It's the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, pitting the Dallas Cowboys against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kickoff in just a couple of minutes. There are several former Huskers on both of those teams. Now to the Olympics. U.S. men's basketball team will play for gold after defeating the Aussies 97-78. Kevin Durant led the way with 23 points. The United States will tangle with France on Saturday. The U.S. women play tonight against Serbia in their semifinals. The U.S. women's soccer squad captured the bronze medal earlier today. They beat Australia 4-3, and the baseball squad advanced to the gold medal game. They beat Korea 7-2. They'll play the home nation, Japan, on Saturday. USA women's volleyball team will play later tonight as well against Serbia in their semifinal match. The U.S. has opened up their lead in the medal count. They now have 91 total medals. That outdistances China, who has 74. China, though, has the most golds, 34, compared to the United States' 29. Afternoon baseball in the big leagues. Miami beat the Mets 4-2. Detroit over Boston 8-1. The Angels blanked the Rangers in Arlington 5-0. The Rockies down the Cubs in Denver 6-5. The Giants in 10 turned back the Diamondbacks 5-4. The Phillies over the Nationals 7-6. Games in progress. The Mariners and the Yankees knotted at 1 in the bottom of the third. No score. Cleveland and Toronto in the fourth inning. It's the Reds 4, the Pirates nothing in the bottom of the second. About to get underway. Kansas City and Chicago to play the White Sox, the Twins in Houston to tangle with the Astros, the Braves and Cardinals getting together in St. Louis. Those are today's headlines. I'm Greg Sharpe.
Live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly on the Huskers Radio Network, bringing you the best Husker sports experience.
Kubik sends a pass, made Gonzalez. It's over the net. Shut back by Stivrins. It's in. They did it. Match point, Big Red. 15-10 in the fifth. Fighting back from the abyss, down 2 sets love. Nebraska claims opening night against Ohio State. 15-10 set 5. My goodness.
Lauren Stivrins is a great leader, and Lauren was talking to those guys through when we were struggling, and she got them to change their mindset. And then I think Lexi led the way, and Nicklin, and so those are the guys that got to do that. Then it was fun to watch. We played Husker volleyball.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down. Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back for hour 2 of Sports Nightly here on a Thursday night. They're about to kick it off in Canton, Ohio. The Steelers and the Cowboys. Our own Brendan Stye headed back to Canton this weekend for the Hall of Fame. A couple of his former Steeler teammates and Bill Cowher, the coach at the Steelers when Brendan played, is going to be back for that Hall of Fame ceremony. I saw Brendan, and we both saw Brendan at practice yesterday. We may have to get him on next week, see what his trip was like.
He still looks like he could run out there and play.
He does. He's lost quite a bit of weight.
He's just,
very stout.
Yeah,
Keeps
stout.
himself in shape. His son Bryce is still playing for the Ohio Bobcats. Went back to play for Frank Solich, who did retire about a month ago. But yeah, Brendan still works for the Huskers Athletic Fund and part of our broadcast crew here on the network. So maybe we'll get him on next week to tell us what it was like being back. I've not been to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You been back there?
I have not. I've not been there.
I'd love to go.
It was funny though with Brendan though when we walked up to talk to him. What group was he watching?
The offensive line. Those guys all hang together.
Yeah, like what Jeremiah was telling us. They're pretty cliquey, but he likes the offensive line group too. He really does.
Yeah, he sure does. He's a big fan of Cam Jurgens, the Huskers center. Loves his athletic ability, and Brendan certainly played with some great lines, not only in Nebraska, but also in his time in the NFL. Coming up here in a few minutes, we're hearing from Ty Robinson. We heard from Tony Tuioti in hour number 1 about the Nebraska defensive line. It's I think a real strength of this football team, and that's a good spot to be good at, as along your defensive line. We'll hear from Ty, who had a breakout year last year, and I think this is going to keep getting better and better for the Big Red. And BTN, as I mentioned in the ticker, was here today for their back on their bus tour.
made their way through Lincoln. I got a chance to grab Dave Revzin, their lead anchor, before they rolled out of town later this afternoon, just to get his thoughts about the season, about Nebraska, about Trev Alberts, who he used to work with at ESPN. Dave was with ESPN for 7 or 8 years before going to BTN, and he says, yeah, I used to interview Trev on segments on SportsCenter. So those two were catching up and telling old stories on the sidelines. So we'll talk about that with Dave coming up in a few minutes. But you had a chance to catch up with one of the big guys on this team, and that's Ty Robinson.
Yeah, so redshirted in 2019 and then really had earned a consistent role, started 7 of 8 games last year, 17 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. And you talked about his breakout year. That's how I phrased it, too. But he said not so much. He didn't think that he had done enough last year, but I just kind of asked him how much confidence he has going into this season.
I definitely have a lot more confidence, but I definitely feel like I have a lot more hard work, a lot of work to put forward. You say breakout that I had last year, but I don't really see it as that. I didn't really do much for the team. I played more of just my job, my position, but I feel like this year I need to be more of like a playmaker. I need to do more instead of just my job.
It seems like that's kind of been a message from the D-line, get more production, right? How do you guys do that? How do you guys cause more disruption on opposing offenses?
I think last year we kind of got a little glimpse of what we needed to do. Definitely the mentality and the mind, like the mindset we had this year in workouts for the winter session, spring ball, and definitely the summer session has definitely shifted from what I saw last year. Last year was a little difficult because of the COVID outbreak, and we were kind of working out, kind of not. We didn't know what was going on. But now we do. Now we have a set plan. Just going to take a lot of hard work. And we kind of the D-line, I feel like, just needs to lead a little bit more because, we're up front. We're right there in the trenches. So I feel like if we get that push, then everyone's just going to follow right behind.
Overall, as a defense, though, with so many guys with so much experience, some depth, it seems like you guys are, 2 and 3 deep at each position, and so many guys have played a lot of football. How do you feel about the potential of what this defense could potentially do?
It's great. You saw what we did last year. One stat that really sticks out to my head is when we played Purdue, we held a -2 rushing yards. Our second half of the season was really what I feel like our Nebraska football really is. Now we just have to start it out with the first game against Illinois and just keep it going for this regular season that we have now.
Let's talk about the depth on the D-line. Tony Tuioti has said that this is the best since he's been here, and it feels like it can be like a hockey line change. How big is that when you do know that you got someone that can sub in and it's not going to drop off, that you guys can continue to rotate in and do what you need to do?
Yeah, it's a big trust thing. You want to make sure that the guy to your left and the guy to your right that you're playing with is going to do their job. And they're not going to give up big plays. So knowing that we have a lot of guys, everyone's coming back, and they all have experience now, there's no excuses. Now it's just, now you have to do it. So, and it also creates competition, which is not a bad thing at all. And so I think it makes us better.
Yeah, how much does that push you, knowing that, hey, there is a guy right behind me that could take my spot any day?
Exactly, yeah. For me personally, I don't want to be just sitting the bench the whole entire time, so it's definitely pushed me in the off season and even last year to up my game even more. I don't know how to do that. I'm still learning. So my game I think is going to jump even more this year from last year.
How much have you grown under Coach Tuioti? It seems like a lot of you guys really rave about how he kind of develops and brings guys along. How have you developed underneath him?
Yeah, just the way he words things and the way we go through our meetings. I don't know, just the words we use. And kind of the technique that he has, and his coaching style too. He's not a guy that's going to get on you just to get on you. He's a guy that truly cares, and he loves and he's passionate about what he does. So I think that's a big part of it. And he kind of just takes you under his wing, and then he expects you to know your stuff. And then when you do it, and then you start taking other people under your wing, and then you kind of just, that philosophy just kind of goes down and down and down.
I've heard from both him and then Greg Austin about just the competition between the O-line and the D-line in the spring. What kind of competition are you expecting between the lines in fall camp?
It's going to be a battle every day. I know that, but I feel like it's going to be a good battle. There's no hate. It's all love. When we're in the locker room, we all talk, we all hang out. But when we get on that field, I got to treat you like you're an opposing team. You're an offensive guy. I'm a defensive guy, so I got to get better. And by me going 100%, that's going to get you better. Whether you're having a bad day and you're like, dang, and you really need to pick it up, or maybe I'm having a bad day and then I got to remind myself I need to pick it up. So I just feel like we're really going to build off each other, and I feel like we're going to be a pretty strong unit this coming season.
Yeah, Coach Austin was talking about iron sharpens iron and how you guys battled it out, but pretty close as well. That between the two groups. I mean, just when it all starts on the line, how big is that you guys have depth on both sides that you can push each other like that?
It's amazing. I mean, some schools don't have that chance, have that opportunity. So knowing that I get to go against our starting center, and his backup is just as good, or going against Ethan Piper and his backup's just as good. So there's really no break. There's no rest. I mean, you got to go work hard every single time.
How good do you think the offensive line could be?
I think this might be the best under Scott Frost. I think this coming year, I think the O-line's going to really show out. You saw the potential they had. I mean, there were sparks of it last season. Just a lot of discipline issues, I think, and just technique things. But I feel like this is going to be a really strong unit. I'm excited to see what they get to bring fall camp.
Number one overall goal that the defensive line needs to accomplish in fall camp?
Pressure to the quarterback. I think that's the biggest thing from last year as well. One thing for spring ball for me personally, I knew that going in that I needed to work on my pass rush, and I think I got a little bit better at least. So this fall camp, I really need to product that even more. So, and I feel like that's one of the main goals of the D-line as well.
So we've talked a lot about it. One of the biggest questions is that the rushing the passer, and they know it. You just heard him say it, that's kind of the biggest goal is to figure out a way to get to that quarterback.
He and Casey Rogers do a pretty good job of making that push up the middle. We had somebody last night wanted to know about the interior, who are the best interior pass rushers. Those two would be two of them. I hate the fact that their numbers are 99 and 98. It's hard for me. I kept getting them mixed up last year. Ty's a little bit taller than Casey. But I'm certainly glad they're both Cornhuskers, and I think they're both going to have great years. He's a good young guy. It was a really fun interview to hear.
Yeah, I was really impressed with him, and just the fact that, I mean, again, you just look at the stats, and he definitely, he earned a big role, but yet he was not happy with what he did. He thought he needed to do more.
That's great.
It didn't really help my team much. I got to do more. So he's very, very motivated to, make some plays for this defense. And a lot of times, with the defensive line, the stats don't always show up.
True.
So, but, I think just overall, like we talked about the sacks numbers, the interceptions, all of that, the defensive line plays a big part in that. So, they're aware, and you just heard him say it. And I think they're really excited about him and his future. And, I mean, if he would not consider last season a breakout year, then I think he's poised for one this year.
Totally agree. On our text line, you guys think our Husker team this year is going to be better? Absolutely. And also, who do you think is going to win that running back position? I've been going with Gabe Ervin, but I think it's tight. I think Marquis Stepp is in there. I think Savion Morrison is in there. I think it's going to be a battle of those three.
Yeah, and when I talked to the offensive players yesterday, they made it. They said that it's it's been a battle, and they're making it really tough. And that's what you want. You want the coaches to have a hard time, and it's got to go till the last second. You want it to be even, and that means you're pushing each other and you're doing the right things. But I do think they have the depth and talent there that if the competition will probably continue, but if somebody goes down, they're going to have some depth there.
Believe they've got a scrimmage on Saturday. They might start to give you a little bit of a hint of who's kind of jumping ahead. But we'll hear from the head coach tomorrow. He'll address the media after practice. We've not heard from him since practice began. So tomorrow will be practice number 7 for the Huskers. You get 25 before you kick it off, and that's going to be in just over 3 weeks. Another text. Great quote from that movie you love, Hoosiers. Don't get caught watching
the paint dry. Yep.
Classic
love that
stuff.
Movie. Love that movie.
All right, 402-413-2400. That's the number to dial us up with a comment or question, or if you want to jump on our YouTube stream and jump in that chat room, you can do that as well. We'll come back and chat with Dave Revzin, the lead anchor for BTN. That's next.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Husker fans, the 2021 athletic season marks the beginning of mobile tickets for Husker sporting events. Tickets and parking passes for all sports will be available for download in your ticket account on the official Huskers app. It's a safe and easy way to guarantee your entry into some of the most exciting sporting events around. Simply download your ticket from your ticket account or the Huskers app and save to your mobile phone wallet before you leave home. Scan at the gate and enjoy the game. Go Big Red. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. With a combination of strong academics and affordability, UNL offers an excellent educational value. This year, the university was named one of the Princeton Review's best value colleges, and the new Nebraska Promise and Career Scholarship programs are connecting more hardworking Huskers with financial help so they can pursue their dreams.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Shop with confidence at Woodhouse Ford. Take advantage of our current offers and vast inventory selection with features you want at a smart price. Schedule a test drive today or shop online with our streamlined sales process. We make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase in person or online at WoodhouseFord.com. Choose your experience and find your next vehicle at Woodhouse Ford in Blair, Omaha, or Plattsmouth.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard. And thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
As the official bank of Husker Nation, FNBO invites you to take the game with you with the free Husker Visa debit card. Tied to your checking account, the Husker Visa debit card allows fans to show their Husker pride all year long. Get your free Husker Visa debit card today at any FNBO branch or visit fnbo.com/Huskers. FNBO, the official bank of Husker Nation. Member FDIC.
There is no better way to support your Huskers than becoming a season ticket holder. And a limited number of Nebraska football season tickets are on sale now. Secure your seat in Memorial Stadium for head coach Scott Frost's fourth season at the helm as the Huskers play host to Buffalo, Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa, and more. Now is your chance to become part of the storied tradition that is Husker football. To purchase season tickets, call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you on a Thursday night. NFL football underway. First preseason game, the Hall of Fame game. Cowboys and Cedars. Dallas driving down in the red zone for this one. Earlier today, Huskers had a practice and BTN made their yearly stop to evaluate the Big Red. I say yearly. That comes a year after they didn't come because of COVID in 2020. And Dave Revzin, their lead anchor, who's been on all of these bus trips since the network was first formed in 2007, caught up with him earlier today and welcomed him back to Lincoln and said, yeah, it's got to feel good to get back out on the road and cover these camps.
So this is our first stop. And the just unrestrained joy I felt in watching pass rush drills today. Like, I never thought I'd be so excited. It is really amazing, and in all seriousness, the things you kind of take for granted in life. Seeing people, connecting, traveling, all of those things. And for us, look, this is a part of my life. I mean, Jerry and Howard and I were talking 2 years ago when we were on the bus tour, and we sat down and started to try to figure out how many days we had spent on that bus in our lives. And it was well over a half a year. Wow. Like, think about that, right? I mean, this is part of the drumbeat of my life and a part I really enjoy, and to not have it last year was rough. So, yeah, this is great. It's great to watch practice. It's great to connect with people. Great to talk to you. Everything about it's just wonderful.
You scaled it back a little bit this year, right? Give me kind of the parameters of what you're doing.
Well, it's just a little bit different for reasons that probably aren't even interesting enough to go into, basically because of some of the new contact rules. It was harder to do it in a linear fashion, how we used to do it, where you could just start in one place and just kind of go stop by stop. Plus, Nebraska and Illinois playing earlier complicated that as well, because as you get closer to game week, people don't want you there. So it's not that it's necessary. Well, it is a little scaled back. We're 3 shows a week, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday we'll have shows. So the Nebraska content, for instance, will be on Monday's show. But really the biggest difference is just not having the bus and kind of us going. We're flying a lot of places. And then we'll see whether the bus comes back next year. But it just didn't make sense. Really not COVID-related, but more kind of just the logistics of it didn't make sense.
You've all done such a great job, even with the bus, having players come and sign their name or image, and that was always really fun to do that. You mentioned the Week 0 game in Nebraska-Illinois. That's a trend, isn't it, in the conference, to play some conference games right out of the gate. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I love it from a TV point of view. We have 10 Big Ten teams that open with a conference game. And, I mean, there's some really good games, too, right? I mean, Wisconsin, Penn State, Iowa, Indiana, Nebraska, Illinois. These are good games that people are excited about, that are going to get national television exposure. I mean, Nebraska first game, right? And right out of the gate, everyone's going to be watching. So I think it's really good from a television point of view. I know the coaches understand why the league is doing it, but it's challenging, right? I mean, think about Iowa. You got a really tough game to start off with against Indiana, and then you got Iowa State. I mean, you could be a really good team and still find yourself in a bit of a hole out of the gate. So I think that's the challenge and the trade-off for people. But, man, I think it's exciting. I mean, again, like Ohio State, Minnesota, like that's going to be everyone's going to be watching that game. So from the point of view of the league, I think it's really good. I think it makes sense. I think it is important to give your league exposure from the word go. Television is such a huge part of college athletics, and to pretend otherwise would be foolish. And I think it makes a lot of sense from that point of view, but I understand why it's challenging for coaches. One
of the other changes for the league was they moved the media day from Chicago to Indianapolis, which I thought was great. It was kind of a cool setting to have it there at the Dome where the championship game will be. While you were there, college football went under a big change with the announcement that came out that Oklahoma and Texas were flirting and now have gone to the SEC. Your thoughts about that? Where do you see the Big Ten falling in line with the rest of the changes?
Well, first of all, I did want to talk about Media Day. I thought that was super cool. And one thing that was really interesting, of course, we rotate the players through and they come on our set. And I was thinking about this. I mean, other than maybe like an extraneous 5th-year or 6th-year guy, even here and there. But by and large, you were talking about only 3 teams have ever played there. Ohio State, Wisconsin, Northwestern. And so you had all of these players coming out saying, wow, this is really cool. This is great. And it gives you something to shoot for at the end of your year. So I thought that was really good. It'd be interesting to see if they rotate that back through in years to come. As far as the big news when we were there, look, I still think the Big Ten is well positioned. There's such power in the brands of this league. The television ratings are always through the roof. There's clearly the television deals are great for each team in the conference. We see the construction going on literally right out the window here, and I understand a lot of that's financed through the school and whatnot and through boosters, but still, again, every school is kind of in a great position in the league, and television has a lot to do with that. So I think if you're the Big Ten, I was just talking to Trev, I think he used the word judicious, that you don't rush into anything, you step back and you see what's going on, and if there's something that makes sense, maybe you pursue that. But otherwise, to me, I think the Big Ten is in great shape. And I just think you're in a position now where a school has to add an awful lot for them to make sense. And is there anyone out there that would? I don't know. I mean, that's not my job, but it'll be interesting to see kind of what they do.
You mentioned Trev Alberts, Nebraska's new athletic director. Your prior job before BTN was with ESPN.
Yes.
And I'm sure you crossed paths with Trev before he left that industry.
We did. Yeah, I mean, I was not primarily hosting shows with him, but, if I was hosting SportsCenter and it was college football weekend and he came in, I think he usually got in like on Thursday, and so maybe he'd come through and do a segment, and so got to know him a little bit there. To me, Trev is just a gifted guy, right? He was a great athlete. He clearly is a very talented administrator. He was a gifted broadcaster. I mean, I thought he was just fabulous. There's kind of the model to me for a great analyst is when you ask an analyst a question, the first thing they should do is tell you right off the top, what's my headline? What am I going to tell you about here? You know, Adrian Martinez is going to be the most improved quarterback in the Big Ten. That's my opinion. That's my headline. And then why? Hey, I'm going to support it with 3 or 4 points. And then at the end of it, I tell you what I just told you. And that's why I think Adrian Martinez will be the most improved quarterback in the Big Ten. No one did that better than Trev. I remember kind of almost being like in awe of it, just how polished he was and how good he was. So, you know, he's one of those people who just has a lot of gifts and was a great broadcaster, and I think could have continued to be. But it's been neat to, from afar, follow his career and see what he's done, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be working with him again.
My only complaint with Trev, Dave, is he doesn't age.
Yeah.
He looks the same now that he did 20 years ago, doesn't he?
I know, yeah. Yeah, no, it's...
Maybe he found the fountain of youth, but I don't know. Well, I know you got a chance to watch practice today. Just a top of your head impression of what you saw with Nebraska.
Good. I mean, I think they're taking a step forward, Greg. You know, it's early in practice, so it's only one of the first contact practices.
First one with pads, yeah.
So you don't really necessarily get a sense of how far along they are. But, I mean, there's some obvious things that step out. The receiver crew looks different, certainly much bigger. Mm-hmm. I really like the tight ends. You know, Adrian Martinez, I have liked for a long time. It's just going to come down to whether or not he can cut down on some of the mistakes and ball security. I'm interested to see who emerges at running back. I think it's going to be interesting. It looks like Stepp can certainly help them. And then I like Toure a lot, you know, talking about kind of some new faces. Yeah, and then, look, I think the defense has steadily gotten better. It felt like when Scott got here, I mean, the defense was really in bad shape, and it's hard. You don't get – I think it's harder to improve dramatically on defense than it is on offense, I've always felt like. And so I think they've kind of steadily improved, and it feels like they're in good position there. You know, is there a clear-cut pass rusher? I don't know whether there is. But, you know, talented in the secondary. So, yeah, I overall, again, it's the first team we've seen, and so I don't want to draw any broad conclusions, but it feels like they have definitely taken a step forward.
We'll let you go with this. As you left Indy, how did you handicap the West? Because you could probably make a case for 2 or 3 teams that could win the West.
Yeah, I always reserve the right to change it because we're going to get a chance to see everyone. We have that luxury that no one else has of, okay, you get to go watch teams practice. I think on paper, to me, Wisconsin looks pretty good. I feel like their offensive struggles last year could be largely attributed to COVID. I mean, they had a massive COVID issue on that team. I'm still interested to see whether they have a true number 1 running back, whether Jalen Berger could be that guy, or they get the transfer from Clemson. They have a couple freshmen I know they feel pretty good about. So does someone emerge there? That always feels like it's a huge part of their blueprint. But, man, Jim Leonard's defenses have been just amazing. I mean, think about how little experience he had as a coach and to step in as a defensive coordinator, and arguably they've gotten better from great defenses. And then I'm interested to see Iowa as well. You know, both those teams, I think, like slight uncertainty at quarterback. I mean, we saw moments from both of those guys last year. Certainly Graham Mertz in the opener was fabulous, and then got COVID, and then it got hurt, and it just felt like he never totally hit his stride. I thought Petrus got better and better as last year went on. So, but I think both those teams will be really good defensively. And then I think you can throw a lot of them in the hat. Northwestern lost a lot. I know they've done a really good job of being in Indy 2 the last 3 years, but again, we're going to see them, I think, on Tuesday, and I'll be fascinated to see the quarterback spot there is going to kind of be everything. And then, yeah, it feels like Nebraska can be in that mix, you know, with kind of the rest of that group with Minnesota. Yeah, they bring a ton back. Mm-hmm. I think they also, you know, COVID last year, I mean, my goodness, they had more than 30 players out for that Nebraska game, which, to their credit, they won.
They won. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm really interested to see. I don't know. I don't think it's a throw them all in a hat division. I think there are some pretty clear separations, but there are several teams that if you told me at the end they won it, I'd say, yeah, okay, I can see that, which I don't feel like is the case in the East.
From a network standpoint, you got to love that. A lot of great competitive games coming your way in the next few months.
It's great for us, Greg. It really is. I really feel like we're in a position now. I mean, I love Illinois' hire of Brett. I think that's a really good hire. I think we're getting to that point where, you know, this can't be Lake Wobegon, right? Not everyone can be slightly above average, but everyone can kind of be maximizing who they can be to be the best version of themselves. And I think we're getting well positioned to have that with some of these coaching changes we've had. Seeing what Rutgers did, the step they took last year, which was pretty significant. So yeah, I'm excited about this year and about the future of the league as well.
Good to see you. Great to have you back in Lincoln. Let's hope you're back here again next August.
Man, I hope so too. All right, Greg. Great to talk to you.
Dave Revzin, the lead anchor on BTN, kind enough to give us a little bit of time here before they slipped out of town, and just fun to get his insights into what he thinks Big Ten football might look like in the coming months. And BTN's a great success story, and in our business, we kind of study these type of things. A lot of conferences try to replicate what they've been able to do, and nobody's really kind of got to their level yet.
Yeah, nope, they have not. I thought it was interesting what he was talking about, you know, how talented of a broadcaster Trev was. And,
right.
You know, I mean, I think we all knew that, but just how he saw him as kind of really above everybody else, just how extremely talented he was in that.
Trev's an impressive guy, and I think everybody has seen that even in just the last month here, how the way he handled the press conference the day that you know, he got introduced as the new athletic director, the appearances that he has made on BTN, and he's going to be a part of their special from here when they air that on Monday. But and he's got a name nationally that people still recognize. I mean, it's been 13, 14 years since he was working at ESPN, but that helps. That helps the brand of Nebraska, that he's that kind of a recognizable guy.
Yeah, and I mean, Scott said it, the coaches have said it, he gets it, he understands, and he knows what it's like to, you know, be here and get this program where everybody wants it to be.
Right. Yeah, in all sports too. I mean,
yes,
and Trev, it's you know, obviously football gets all the headlines, and Trev's that's the one that drives, that's the engine that drives the train. But Trev wants to win at everything, and that's the way I think I would look at it too, as if I were an athletic director. Again, thanks to Dave for spending some time with us. If you have some reactions to that or thoughts about any of that, 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. We'll step aside and get a break in. But before we do that, time to tell you to buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Shop Woodhouse Chevy Buick in Missouri Valley, Iowa, and experience the Woodhouse difference, where our sales staff is here, ready to help you find your perfect new car, truck, or SUV. And with over 100 new vehicles on our lot with more arriving daily, we're sure to have something for you. From the Buick Encore to our heavy-duty trucks, we have the best selection available. Find new roads and shop all of our inventory and offers at WoodhouseChevy.com or visit us at our dealership for a test drive today, making car buying easier. This is Woodhouse.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Did you ever buy something and get more than you expected? Emeritus offers insurance, employee benefits, and financial services, but we deliver so much more. The comfort of a human voice when you need it, the confidence of flashing a beautiful smile, the relief that your family can keep living the life they love, the serenity of knowing you've planned well and can enjoy life. That's what we really deliver. We call it fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services, and much more.
Stadium seats may have been replaced with recliners. Tailgates outside the stadium may have been swapped for the ones in the backyard. And thousands of screaming fans have been replaced by one screaming baby. The only thing that hasn't changed is us, watching the game together.
It's game time, baby.
Show off your Husker team spirit during your next virtual watch party. Visit Cox.com/Huskers to take a selfie with Herbie. And don't forget to share. Watch together, cheer together, take a selfie together, even if you're not actually together. Cox, bringing us closer.
Husker fans, looking for a seat in Memorial Stadium? Custom 3-game mini plans are available now for only $195. Choose any combination of the 6 games available. Matchups available in the 3-game plan include the home opener versus Fordham, Buffalo, Northwestern, Michigan, Purdue, and Iowa. Don't miss this opportunity to join the greatest fans in college sports and help fill Memorial Stadium. To build your mini plan, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. On May 7th and 8th, Nebraska celebrated its largest May graduating class in university history. 3,594 degrees were awarded to Nebraska graduates in ceremonies at Pinnacle Bank Arena and Memorial Stadium. Along with receiving their diplomas, graduates also heard inspiring speeches from notable Nebraskans, including legendary coach Tom Osborne.
Our Sports Only Hotline brought to you by the Woodhouse Auto family, bringing you more choices in brands, locations, and service. Experience the difference. Purchase with confidence. This is Woodhouse. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Thursday night of Sports Only here on the Husker Sports Network. If you want to be a part of the program with a call or text, 402-413-2400. We've got some NFL football on. We've got the Olympic Games going on as those are wrapping up. The USA volleyball team will play later tonight. Same with the women's basketball team. Is it going to be another late night for you?
I am. I'm gonna watch both of those. Big games, big matches. And exciting for Jordan Larson.
Yep.
Hopefully getting to the gold medal match. And then I thought the women's basketball team looked as good as they've looked in Tokyo the other night. So excited to see if they can, follow that up and put together another big performance tonight.
That'll be fun. I wish they weren't so darn late at night, but I do better. I've been getting up at like 6:30 and flipping on, and you get some live events there. Some of the games that are at night, it's like about 8:30 at night over there, catching some of that. And so I've been watching a little bit of that.
Baseball played this morning, right?
Baseball played this morning, got a win, so they are now into the gold medal match. They'll play Japan on Saturday in the gold medal game over there, and so wish them good luck.
Kevin Durant went off again last night. Australia jumps out to a 17-point lead, and Australia wanted so badly to beat USA. They threw some defenses at them and threw some kind of kinks at Team USA that they hadn't seen before, and got out to a 17-point lead, and then Kevin Durant just did what Kevin Durant does. But I would have loved to have seen Luka in the gold medal match, but I think it's awesome that it's going to be France and United States getting a rematch there.
Yeah, the U.S. has a chance to get a little revenge after losing to them in day one, kind of put them a little bit behind the 8 ball. But they are playing better, Team USA. And again, you throw these guys together for maybe 2 weeks before the games, and they try to scrimmage and get a little bit of continuity in there. It's not easy to do. And I think that hurts us in multiple sports. And we were talking about the relay team in track and field. We throw 3 or 4 of our top sprinters together and hope that they might have the timing down on the baton handoffs. It's tough to do that sometimes.
Yeah, you can't just, you take for granted a lot of these countries, are kind of, they don't have pro sports, or it's all about the Olympics.
Right.
And so they focus and put so much time and preparations into just the Olympics, whereas a lot of these, Team USA athletes are doing other things.
Tim on our text line says he switched over to the Hall of Fame game and wanted to know about Randy Gregory's status with the Cowboys. I hope and pray things go well for him. They had a shot of Randy on the sideline. He's not in uniform tonight. That's not rare. A lot of the starters aren't playing at all. Didn't even make the trip, in fact, some of them. But Randy is there, but not in uniform tonight. But seems to be doing well for the Cowboys. And I'm with you, Tim. He's certainly battled some demons. He has just had a really difficult time keeping himself off the funny little cigarettes, and so hopefully things go better for him down the road. There are a couple of, in fact, I looked up a minute ago and just told Jessica during the break, Matt Farniak, who was drafted by the Cowboys last April, is now in the game at center. He was listed on their depth chart as the number 2 center, so he's into the game. He'll probably get a lot of snaps in this game tonight, so good to see him. But, yeah, Randy, Tim, is there, but not in uniform tonight for that game, and that's not rare at all. A lot of veterans don't play in this one.
Yeah, I mean, 17 Cowboys didn't even make the trip there. So, and as we go along, too, and by week 3 or game 3, preseason game 3, like none of the starters play.
Right.
So.
Yeah, they did. All those guys need is just a little bit to kind of get fired up and ready to roll.
But earning that backup center and
being
huge. 2 on the depth chart, because you got to have that depth on the. Because how many times in the NFL do you see guys go down and you got to be able to run other guys in?
Let's go to the phones. Seth is up next on Sports Hunter. Good evening.
Howdy. Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question about Olympics. Y'all were talking about that earlier, and I don't know if you mentioned it yesterday. I didn't hear the show, but there's a young lady that won a gold in wrestling, and nobody talks about her, and I'm just kind of curious why, because I keep hearing Simone Biles, but she quit on her team and quit on her country. I mean, she had excuses, but she had mental problems. Why did she go to begin with? And if she, for that matter, why did she continue and win a bronze? I mean, we praise her, but this other young lady, who I think is only the second woman to win in her class, I believe. I could be wrong on that. And she won a gold medal, and nobody talks about her. And I don't know if it's because she wrapped herself in the flag and praised her, loves her country and God and family. I don't know if maybe that's why we don't talk about her. But I think somebody who, says that it gives credence to everybody but herself, says it's, everybody else helped her get there, and she never gives any due to herself. I think that person needs to be mentioned more than just a footnote, I think. But, maybe we live in a different time, but there used to be a time when that mattered, that you went to the Olympics and you supported your country. That's what you're there for, and you won on behalf of your country, It used to be a thing. Maybe it ain't a thing anymore, but I just wondered about that. I don't know why she doesn't get talked more about, but I'll let you go. Y'all have a good rest of your day.
All right. Thanks for calling. That's the first I've heard of it. I'm glad you brought it up. I did not know that happened.
Actually, she was going to be my winner for the week
tomorrow
when we
night.
do that tomorrow.
There
So it's and her name's kind of difficult to pronounce, but she's the first black woman to win a gold medal, and so it was a really big deal. No, it was awesome. She was actually we do our winners and losers for the week, and that was going to be my winner. So I was actually going to talk about that tomorrow, but I'm glad you brought it up. No, it was really impressive, and seeing her emotion, and her interview went viral. It was really impressive. Just she was overcome with emotion and how she had worked for that, and I believe her father had passed away, and it was a really cool story. So
Tamara Menshaw Stock is her name. First black U.S. woman wrestler to win a gold. That's fantastic. They do have women's wrestling in the games. In fact, I think that's NBC Sports Channel I had up earlier. They were showing some of the women's wrestling going on. I'll be honest with you, Seth, I haven't followed the wrestling much. Once Jordan Burroughs didn't make the team, I really haven't followed the wrestling portion of the Olympics as much.
it also, and that's another kind of when you just tune into the prime time, they didn't put wrestling in any of the prime time coverage, and
like boxing, I haven't followed any boxing.
Yeah, and so it's like you kind of whatever's. For me, it's like what pops up on the featured. But I did see that on, I think it was on Sports Center yesterday. They did a big piece on her, so it was really cool.
Nice. Very good. Seth, I don't know that it's fair to kind of lump her success or lack of coverage to Simone Biles. I mean, Simone Biles was the face of these games. He was the biggest name going into these Olympic Games in the world. And so her issues obviously are going to catch some headlines. I don't know that that's a fair comparison to say that this female wrestler, first black female wrestler to win a gold, didn't get attention just because she wrapped herself in the flag. I think Simone Biles has wrapped herself in the flag, too, in a lot of ways. So I'm not sure that's a fair comparison to do that. Need to take a break. 402-413-2400. More of the show coming up.
The game isn't just about winning or losing. It's about the snacks they share after they've used up all their energy in the field. It's the early morning practice before school and staying late after to get a couple more kicks in. It's the pride they feel for their team and the determination to always keep improving. Sure, the game isn't always about winning or losing, but when they've won the big game and celebration is in full swing, there's only one thing left for you to do. Get them home safe. Buckle up in back. Paid for by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Still waiting for your stimulus check? Don't wait for the government. Get the SOS stimulus package right now. For a limited time, get $2,000 off a qualifying York system. York products are all proudly made in the USA. Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company. Get you and the loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Grace Fitzgibbon with Campus News. Nebraska is one of the best schools in America for student Fulbright scholars. 2021 marks the 4th time that the university has been named a top producing institution by the Fulbright program. Of the 30 Huskers who applied this past year, 10 were offered the prestigious Fulbright. An additional 16 Huskers were named semifinalists.
Buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Final few minutes in Sports Nightly here on a Thursday night. Still time if you want to be part of the program. 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. Or if you're watching on our YouTube stream, there is a chat room in there. If you want to jump on board with any comments there, we can certainly get those out. We got into Field of Dreams last hour of the program because they're going to play a Major League Baseball game next Thursday, the 12th. On
Got
ESPN,
it right that time.
yeah. They've constructed about an 8,000 seat. The Yankees and White Sox are going to play a game on that field from that movie. So we're talking about other movies that made you tear up. We brought up Hoosiers. Somebody just texted and said another man-crying movie is Brian's song, Bawled My Eyes Out at the End. How about you? And that, of course, with Gale Sayers, part of that movie, the Omaha product Gale Sayers. But, yeah, that is a movie that does tear you up.
God, it's a great day when we're working and you're getting Hoosiers quotes on the text line because there was one up above that too. So I love that.
Somebody want to know if we got any chance, any update on getting Delano Banton on the program. We're trying to get Delano to come on, but he's getting busy now because he's headed to Vegas for the NBA Summer League. So I'm not liking our chances the further away from the draft that we're getting. Didn't he try to get a hold of us, but it was like 10 o'clock at night. We were already gone from here.
The day we were trying to get him on, he got really busy. He had to go straight and had media availability, and then he had said that at 10 o'clock that night he was ready to go, but yeah, we couldn't make that happen.
We're trying. We're trying to get him, but he, obviously he had to fly to Toronto and do a media session with their local media there. So Rich. So that's we say we have an open invitation for Delano. If he wants to come on at any point in time, we'd love to get him on.
We got pushed behind Drake. Okay, I mean,
yeah. How about that? Come on, you're picking Drake over Greg and Jessica. What is that all about? That seems like.
I mean, he's gonna have to answer for that when we talk to him. I mean, come on, Drake.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's go back to the phone. Mike in Omaha is up next on Sports Nightly. Good evening, Mike.
I really thought all your interviews were really impressive. I like what the Big Ten guy said about headlines and then the reasons and then repeat what you said and how impressive it was. Trev. But I got a question about former players being brought back to have relationships with current players. Is there more of that going on recently?
You've kind of lost me. Lay up. What do you? I'm not sure, Mike, what you're meaning.
Well, I've heard about Jason Peter and Foreman having more of a connection, and Frost talked about former offensive linemen now having a relationship with current linemen. Is there more of that going on?
Absolutely. Yeah, Scott has done quite a bit of that. In fact, Jason Peter, Jay Foreman have been out at practice. He had, you talked about the offensive lineman, he had Brendan, and he had Matt Hoskinson and some of those guys that Scott had played with or played right before Scott come in and kind of talk to the team during the summer. They're not doing that as much now, although Jason Peter and Jay Foreman are actively on the sidelines at practice, kind of offering words of encouragement. So, I think there's a lot more of that going on right now.
You got to feel good about that.
Can't hurt, right? Thanks, Mike. Appreciate the call.
And, talking with Cam and that, earlier this summer that we ran the interview, and then Greg Austin, just, these offensive linemen know and understand the history and tradition, and they're kind of using that, this year. It's kind of been they don't have mottos like we've talked about before and slogans, but, the pipeline and kind of embracing the fact that Nebraska has been known for dominant offensive line play, and they want to get back to that. And so they're kind of embracing that, and I think, appreciate the guys like Brendan and Jeremiah that are coming around and that they're spending a little bit more time with for sure.
Yeah. 402-413-2400. Tomorrow here on the program, we're going to talk to Husker women's gymnastics coach Heather Brink, get her thoughts about the Olympic Games, her thoughts about the troubles that Simone Biles went through. I'm sure as a gymnastics coach, and she was a terrific gymnast herself, she probably can relate to a lot of some of the things that Simone was dealing with. So we'll get her on the program. Scott Frost will address the media tomorrow after practice. Can't wait to see what his observations have been now. That'll be after practice number 7. That's a pretty good way into camp. What has he felt like during the first week? So looking forward to getting all that. And we're getting close to Volleyball Media Day. That's in a couple days, so that's getting right around the corner.
Some Husker volleyball. We were talking, I think, in the commercial break about, we're a week in, and you're seeing a lot of teams on social media. They're starting tomorrow, and Nebraska's already got a week in of fall camp.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's just that week 0 game that you get that whole week jump on teams. I know Ohio State started a couple of days ago. Ohio State will open on a Thursday, so they open a couple of days before that first full Saturday, so they are underway. Illinois obviously has been underway for a couple days as well, and we'll tap into the Illinois camp later on in the month and get kind of a feel for what their camp has been looking like as well. Steelers lead the Cowboys 3-0 in the Hall of Fame game. They're about halfway through the second quarter. It's fun to look up and see Matt Farniak out there grabbing the football. He's the backup center for the Cowboys. He was drafted by them in April. It'd be fun to watch Brendan Hymas, who also got drafted in April by the Chargers, to see what kind of camp he's having and what he's trying to do as well. So appreciate this. This is fun. Good show tonight, huh?
Yeah, it was a lot of
stuff.
fun. Movie talk and Hoosiers and Field of Dreams. Gotta love that. Always a good day when you go back to that. It's been a lively chat, like it has been all week. And
do they even care that they're all talking amongst themselves? They probably don't even care what we're talking about.
Yeah, they kind of get involved. They'll comment on some of the things we say, but they're talking with each other. And I had Mark say he really likes Ty Robinson. He's a stud. And that, addressing the pass rush, that's something that needs to be turned around. And I think Ty talked about that. They know that it's got to change.
Absolutely.
23 days, says Crypto King. He's one of our number one fans
Counting
in the
down.
YouTube chat.
Counting those days down. It'll be here before we know it. All right, that'll put a wrap on tonight's show. My thanks to Jessica, to Mike, to Andrew, and all of you for listening here tonight. Full show again tomorrow night. Scott Frost comments. Heather Brink will be here. We'll maybe even delve into a little bit of volleyball chatter as they get ready to open their camp with their media day coming up on Saturday. So we'll keep our finger on that pulse as well. Enjoy the rest of your night. Go back and watch a little NFL football on the air tonight. The Cowboys and the Steelers. Have a great night. We'll do it again tomorrow. Good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Back to Adventures in Technology. Oh no! Our IT hero is caught in the jagged jaws of ransomware attacks and phishing scams. Help! Wait! It's Marco's Network Security Solutions to the rescue with life-saving ways to detect hungry cybervillains and stop them cold in their tracks. With Marco's Network Security Solutions, our IT hero lives to surf another day. For more successful network security adventures, go to marconet.com.
Does it really matter where beef comes from? Meet the facts. Fact: Hy-Vee Choice Reserve beef comes from the Midwest, so you get only the highest quality beef raised on family farms here in the heartland. Where do the other guys get their beef? We're not sure either. Get the facts at meetthefacts.hyvee.com.